Hello and welcome back to the On the Football Zone and to a midweek review, reviewing the Premier League action that we've seen this week, and starting off with a very dramatic game at Craven Cottage as Manchester City defeated Fulham 5-4. Yeah, you heard that right. They raced into a 3-0 lead, City, by the 44th minute. Fulham pulled one back just before half-time before Ferguson and a Bergeron goal made it 5-1. But by the 78th minute it was 4-5 and we all thought Fulham would go on and get an equaliser. But in the end, City held out and a remarkable game. You say City probably created the better chances. Should never have really got into that position. Great comeback from Fulham, but not quite enough. For City, though, I think I'll be concerned by that. Moving on then to Bournemouth 0, Everton 1. Jack Grealish with a goal in the 78th minute. A big goal for Everton. Bournemouth had a goal disallowed in the first half, but on the whole, I would say Everton were deserving of this victory, to be honest. They created more than Bournemouth. Had probably more of the game as well. Positive signs for David Moyes. But just a little mid-season blip at the moment for Andoni Iraola's Bournemouth, which will be a bit of a concern for them, and they'll be looking to turn it around. Moving on then to Newcastle 2, Tottenham 2 at St James's Park. It was Bruno Guimaraes in the 71st and 86th minute for Anthony Gordon from the spot there, and 2 goals from Newcastle. In between that, Romero scored 1-1. You thought surely would be finishing that scoreline, but no, Romero with an overhead kick goal, and it wasn't even that good. It kind of just trickled in, still a crazy way to get a late equaliser. And to be honest, Newcastle will be very frustrated how they didn't win this game. They dominated for large portions and really should have seen it out, but for Tottenham, I think they'll see this as a relatively positive point. Moving on then to Wolves 0, Forest 1 at Molineux, and it was Igor Jesus. He had a goal disallowed in the first half, but in the 72nd minute it wasn't ruled out. And in the end, it was a game of very few chances. Two pretty average sides, I've got to be honest. But for Wolves, I think they would have been hoping for at least a draw from this, and it didn't come. So they'll be very, very frustrated with that. Still without a goal. Rob Edwards tore into his players at full time. It's not looking good for them, is it? But Sean Dyche is just getting the results when he needs to at Forest. Moving on then to Burnley 0, Palace 1 at Turf Moor, and it was Munoz in the 44th minute who got the goal, and in the end it was quite an evenly matched game, I would say. Burnley probably had more of the shots, but to be honest, did they really create any major chances? I'm not sure. Palace had their one moment, except for that, didn't really create too much and took it, and that's what good teams do, and it's a good away win for them. But for Burnley, on days where Crystal Palace maybe didn't turn up as much as they would have wanted to, I think they'll be disappointed not to get anything out of this. Moving on into Brighton 3, Aston Villa 4, another goal fest, and Brighton actually went into a 2-0 lead by the 29th minute before 2 goals from Watkins made it 2-2 just before half time. Onana made it 3-2, Milan made it 4-2, and you thought it'd be all over, but Van Heck made it 3-4 with about 10 minutes left to set up a grandstand finish, and in the end Villa held out. Great comeback from them. Brighton will be hugely frustrated. It's quite an evenly matched game, but gives Villa a bit of a buffer over Brighton in the league table. So they'll be really disappointed with that, especially with the position they are in. Arsenal continued on their title charge with a pretty comfortable 2-0 win at home to Brentford. It was Marino in the 11th minute and Saka in the first minute of stoppage time scoring the goals for Arsenal, and Arsenal dominated this game really. Brentford didn't really have a lot of the game. Arsenal were always in control. Obviously there's always going to be a bit of doubt when you've only got that 1 goal advantage, but in the end they saw it out relatively comfortable, and like I said, that's a big win for the Arsenal, and they're looking very good in the title race, aren't they, when you consider results like Leeds 3, Chelsea 1, a real off day for the world champions. Birloj and Tanker gave Leeds a 2-0 lead in the first half. Neto made it 2-1 before Calvert-Lewin made it 3-1, and with rumours about Daniel Farke and his job, this was exactly the result Leeds needed, and they created some really good chances. They played really well throughout, fully deserving of the win. But for Chelsea, I think it shows that they're still probably just too inconsistent at this point in time to really become proper title challengers yet, which will be deeply frustrating for Enzo Maresca, isn't it? Moving on then to Liverpool 1, Sunderland 1 at Anfield, and Sunderland actually took the lead in the 67th minute through Talby before an own goal, so it's not actually been credited to Wirtz, but it pretty much was Wirtz's goal. First in the Premier League at last. And Liverpool dominated a lot of the game, but Sunderland, they hang in there. It's a good result, I think, for Sunderland. What a start to the season they're having. But for Liverpool, when you thought you turned the corner in the West Ham game to not do it, very, very disappointing. Manchester United drew 1-1 with West Ham at Old Trafford in the Thursday night football. And I think, Manchester United will probably be really frustrated by this point. They took the lead before it was a goal with in the last 10 minutes that sealed the equaliser for West Ham. And I think good point for West Ham, shows they're getting better. But for Manchester United, too many games. I think the Everton game recently at home as well kind of showed they're just dropping silly, unnecessary points. And that'd be frustrating because they definitely are improving. But they've got to stop getting results like these.
Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe for our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.